Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another awesome Sawmill Sundays here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Today's video is going to be not a lot of jibber jabber, not a lot of talk. I'll show you the logs that we're going to be running through the mill today, and what we're trying to do is make some 6x6 posts, potentially some 4x4 posts, potentially some 1x's, and some fence boards. So 1x6 fence boards. They'll be 1 1/8 thick fence boards, and we're going to be using these fence boards out on the farm and the post out on the farm to build around tree areas. In other words, we're going to be planting trees throughout the pasture so that the cows have shade later on in the fall, and these fence boards are going to serve as the fencing for that job. So come along today as we mill up some red oak, and we're going to take you over here and show you exactly what we've got. We've got several cool species of lumber over the next few weeks on Sawmill Sunday. I think you guys are going to love it. So let's get busy.
I ain't afraid of work. I ain't afraid of play. I ain't afraid to get the job done and do it my own damn way. I ain't afraid of life. Times like this. If you mess with my freedom, I'll tell you just what you can kiss. That's right.
All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time or your 50th time here, please hit that like button. I'd love to have you back. Subscribe to the channel. This is a first-generation farm here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We've got cows right here. We've done some pigs in the past. We've done chickens. We do all kinds of fun stuff. So this is a Woodmizer LT40 extra wide. It is a hydraulic mill. In other words, it runs off hydraulics. The hydraulic arm will lift up the log. The hydraulic mill will drive this way and that way. And there's a chain drive that raises it up and down. There's also a tiny little computer called Simple Set, and I'll show you that in a second, and that will make our cuts completely consistent all the time. This is, first of all, the Warlock dump truck. You're going to see a future video on the Warlock. Let's just walk over here. I bought this off a buddy of mine. He got a heck of a deal on it. He replaced the rear end. This is an old Home Depot truck, okay? A whole Home Depot rental truck with an aluminum dump bed. Really, really handy. The tractor and the way we're gonna offload the logs is onto these pallet forks on the TYM T574 hydrostatic tractor. So this thing has been instrumental down here at the mill. It's been super awesome for offloading logs. These are the logs, okay? And we're gonna take you through and show you the logs and the different tools we're gonna use right now. So back when I set this mill up, there was a huge pile of logs right here, and we've worked our way through a lot of those logs, but we're gonna have to roll these critters down the hill, and what we're gonna use is our Log Ox 3-in-1 forestry multi-tool. You'll see they have upgraded the handle to the Log Ox forestry multi-tool right here. I'll post a link to that in the video description along with a coupon code. Log Ox has been a longtime supporter of rural content here on the farm, so definitely got to give those boys a quick shout out. So what we have front to back, front of the line here, we've got a nice big red oak, okay? That should give us a ton of fence boards. We've got a white oak, red oak, red oak, red oak, red oak, red oak, red oak, tons of red oak. So what do I need to do here is I actually need to take the tractor and the pallet forks, and I need to push this white oak out of the way and push this white oak out of the way, because what we want to do today is all red oak. Eventually I'll be able to take this whole pile and carry it a little closer to the mill, but for now we just need to roll it. So I'll roll this one down to the mill, I'll get this one out of the way, and we'll get everything stacked up and lined up to appropriately load onto the sawmill right here. That'll be pretty fun. We also have a screw up, a boo-boo. There is a boo-boo in the, somewhere in this machine where the belt is squeaking. So I've got to start it up, raise this up, take off a little panel, and check the belt tension. The belt tension for the main drive belt is loose on this critter, and it's just a maintenance item that we need to address before we start cutting. Also, for some reason, my debarker is not working properly. This is the debarker right here. This has a carbide tipped blade. That blade spins and debarks the lumber and helps to save our sawmill blade, which is right here. It's a band sawmill blade. So I've got to troubleshoot that. There's a little bit of troubleshooting work to get done here. Nothing lasts forever, I guess. Anything mechanical or electrical is eventually going to fail on you. So let's get busy. First of all, we'll start the mill, raise this thing up, and see what we got going after we check our oil and lubricate everything. Then we'll get the tractor and start pushing logs out of the way. Work smarter, not harder. Fuel pump kicks on. It's our belt, Floppy Belt. So this is a belt tensioner right here that keeps this belt from doing that. And nothing keeps the birds out like the kitty cats do, but you can see this is way, way out of whack right here. And that could potentially throw that belt. So we definitely want to open up here, and we've got a bird nest, which we frequently have. Oh, right up here, a bird was attempting to build a nest right there. This is our floppy belt problem. In order to solve this, we're gonna turn the key on, okay, and we're gonna engage the blade. And when we engage the blade, it brings the tension up on the mill. Let me show you. Turn it off, turn it on. So herein lies the play that we have, okay? We've got way too much play in this belt. We'll engage it. Disengage. We're just going to adjust this little ring up, probably about 3 turns. Test her out. Oh yeah. Much, much better. We don't want to over tighten. Try that just a little more. Now we're cooking. Now we're talking right there. Turn this lock nut back into position. Lock it down like so. And we're going to test this guy out. This Cant Hook from Log Ox, it's a Log Ox 3-in-1 forestry multi-tool. Man, it's an indispensable tool. I use it every time I use the sawmill. It's super, super handy. It's not just a Cant Hook, but what I'm using it for here is a Cant Hook, and it's just an ultimate firewood tool to keep your chainsaw out of the dirt. So sometimes when you got a big stack like this and you start rolling logs, they start walking all over each other and all over the place, all janky. So I had to get in here with the tractor forks and just kind of push things into place. You can see sometimes you got to push from one side, sometimes you got to sneak over and push from the other side. All right guys, we've got a total of 7 really nice red oak logs right here. And if you missed the video, I'll show you a little shot of the tree dropping right here. We were making room to put our new shop building in, and I started cutting these trees. They were in the way and definitely didn't want them to go to waste. So they're absolutely gorgeous, straight, no nails, no nothing. I already went over them with a metal detector, If you've got a farm, you've got a piece of property like this, it's a good idea to have a sawmill. It really is. This thing will pay for itself over and over and over again. And if you're ever without work or you're ever without food, you can always earn a living running your sawmill. So it's something that's really, really special and a great addition to the farm. So as we progress here, guys, the mill is just getting slower and slower and slower. And I can tell I'm gonna have to replace my blade soon. I pretty much have to replace a blade after, I'm gonna say, about every 4 logs when it comes to this really, really hard wood like red oak. And the last wood I ran through here was wild cherry, and we got away with just using the same blade. If you watched the last Sawmill Sunday, I actually had to change the blade right in the middle of the video, but it was all good. No biggie to change the blade. It takes about 3 minutes to do it. Really, really simple. Be sure you hit that like button as you're watching this. We're just gonna get you some cool time lapse and show you what's going on here on the mill. I'm just making production happen right here. So just producing some great lumber for us to use here on the farm, and future fencing projects that are coming up here within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I've got the fence post pounder for about another 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and I plan on definitely using that thing. If you're interested in renting a post driver, check out Farm Fence Solutions. Those guys are a wealth of knowledge, and they also rent post drivers, so we'll be driving post and building fence here again really soon as the weather cools off here for the fall on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Daddy, I am tired and I'm only through 2 logs. We got to kind of step back for a second. I want to show you guys these fence boards that I'm milling up, and I've got to change the blade out on the mill. That's 2 nice big logs, big red oak logs that I went through the mill, and a couple cherry logs the other day. So the blade is shot, totally shot, and that's a wear item. All you do is remove these 3 panels, replace the blade, and then you can get back to cutting. Let's show you what we've milled up so far, and then I'm gonna get busy. I gotta put cameras down. The sun's trying to go down on me here, believe it or not. I've probably got about 2 hours, and I've still got all these logs to go. Let's talk about, before I show you the wood, let's talk about the thought process behind what I'm doing here. So the bigger the log, the more fence boards I can get out of it. Pretty much common sense. These smaller logs, like this guy here, and this guy here, those will be the ones that I'm trying to get my post out of. So in other words, this is purposeful milling right here. This will either work as flooring for the mezzanine in the mega shop, steps, stair treads, and or fence boards like this board fence that we have down here. So they are 6 inches, just a shy over like 6 1/16 by 1 1/16. The blade takes a 16th, so we set the blade to 1 1/8 inch thick. So that's what we have here. Beautiful. This is probably a number 2 common. We've got a little bit of a knot in it right here. Not totally clear, but let's get you guys a good look at what this red oak is going to look like over time. It's going to dry and it's going to brighten up a little bit, and then it's going to start to darken. Let's get a little water on this and show you what it looks like. Now understand, guys, we're not going for an aesthetic here. We're not looking for beautiful red oak flooring. We are milling up wood to build fences out of. So it doesn't have to be furniture grade or furniture quality, but I think what you're going to see is furniture grade and or furniture quality. Just look at the grain in that red oak when you get it wet. Absolutely gorgeous. One of my viewers made a comment the other day, this is just water by the way, not to put wet wood on pallet forks, and that's exactly right. This will cause black staining up underneath right here, and you can already see where it's starting to cause a little bit of black staining. So if you leave it on there overnight, whatever board is touching will get ruined, and that's why I have the less desirable boards on the bottom. This one has a little bit of a mess on it, so these are here to protect, and this one was a little bit thin. So that's what we got going there. Just a little bit of food for thought on the sawmill. So that's Sawmill Sunday for today, guys. I have a lot more work to get done, so I better get busy. We have, gosh, how many boards now? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 40 fence boards right here, and we probably have enough to do at least 40 more fence boards, and I'm shooting for 5 posts. Okay, now we don't need to use red oak post. We can use white oak post. We can use cedar post, whatever type post we need to use. But the post will most likely be dedicated to the mega shop. They'll be inside for the mezzanine, and you'll see that in future videos on the Stoney Ridge Farm. So be sure you hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you back. If you're not already subscribed, if you're on Facebook watching, be sure you click that follow button. And if you're not tuned into the live stream channel, there'll be a link down in the pinned comment and a link down in the video description. I've got a live channel that we do about 5 live videos out here with the cows every week. So right over the hill are the cows, beef cows. Cool, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Just firing up the Woodmizer here for a beautiful Sawmill Sunday. I hope you guys have a beautiful week this week, and we'll see you in the next video here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Thanks. See ya. Woo!
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Hey there, folks. This is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. I don't know whether my microphone is working. Yes, I do. Now I do. Off. On.